Prime Minister Narendra Modi participated in the 9th National Handloom Day celebration at Bharat Mandapam Pragati Maidan in Delhi. He launched the Bharatiya Vastra Evam Shilpa Kosh e-portal developed by the National Institute of Fashion Technology. Modi also highlighted his government's efforts to boost the khadi sector and noted that August 7th was selected for celebrating the National Handloom Day as an ode to the Swadeshi movement's launch on the same day in 1905. The Digital Personal Data Protection Bill 2023 was passed in Loksabha. The Digital Personal Data Protection Bill frames out the rights and duties of the citizen or Digital Nagrik on one hand and the obligations to use collected data lawfully of the Data Fiduciary on the other hand. The bill proposes a maximum penalty of Rs 250 crores and a minimum of 50 crores on entities violating the norms. Union Home Minister Amit Shah moved the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Bill 2023 in Rajya Sabha for consideration and passing the bill to replace the Ordinance for Control of Services in Delhi. The bill was passed by Lok Sabha last week. BJP targeted Congress claiming Chinese funding of the party following a New York Times report that media portal Newsclick, financed by tech mogul Neville Roy Singham, was pushing China's agenda in India. BJP also accused Congress of supporting Newsclick during an investigation by the Enforcement Directorate in 2021 into its funding. Meanwhile, Union Home Minister Anurag Thakur stated that China, Congress and Newsclick are part of one umbilical cord. Earlier, New York Times named Newsclick in a global network that received funding from a China-based American tech tycoon Singham, who is reportedly involved with the Chinese government. Niger's coup leaders closed the country's airspace after defying West African states' ultimatum to restore ousted President Mohamed Bazoum or face military intervention. However, junta claimed armed forces are ready to defend the country. Bazoum was detained on 26 July and General Abdurrahmane Tichani, commander of the Presidential Guard, later proclaimed himself the new leader. At least 4 Syrian soldiers were killed and 4 others were injured in an Israeli missile attack near the Syrian capital Damascus. Syrian authorities also reported material damage and intercepted some of the Israeli missiles. Israel has been attacking Iran-linked targets in Syria for years, fighting Iran-backed forces, Hezbollah and the Syrian army in a decades-long conflict. Iran's influence in Syria has increased since its support of President Bashar al-Assad in the 2011 civil war. During more than a decade of war in Syria, Israel has flown hundreds of airstrikes on Syrian territory. Former US President Donald Trump, facing charges to overturn the 2020 presidential elections, targeted the assigned federal judge, stating he couldn't expect a fair trial with the judge assigned. Trump added that he's planning to seek US District Judge Tanya Chutkan's recusal as well as a change of venue outside of Washington. However, no formal court request has been filed yet. Trump, a front-runner for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination, was recently indicted for the 3rd time. A massive fire broke out near the endoscopy room of All India Institute of Medical Sciences in Delhi, following which more than 6 fire tenders were immediately rushed to the hospital, successfully bringing the fire under control. According to authorities, all patients and staff in the vicinity were safely evacuated. One terrorist was neutralized and another shot at as Indian security forces foiled an infiltration attempt along the line of control in Poonch district of Jammu and Kashmir. A search operation is still underway and it was not known if the second terrorist was killed or injured. According to authorities, Pakistan-based terror groups were planning to carry out a major attack in Jammu and Kashmir ahead of the Independence Day. Mitchell Marsh have been named Australia's T20 team captain for the South Africa tour, positioning him as a potential long-term captain for the World Cup. An all-rounder, Marsh has assumed the role following Aaron Finch's retirement. Since Finch retired, Australia has been without a captain in the shortest format of the game. Meanwhile, Australia also announced preliminary names for their 18-player squad for this year's ICC Men's Cricket World Cup in India. The Indian national men's hockey team reclaimed the top spot in the ongoing Asian Champions Trophy with a 5-0 win over Malaysia at the Mayor Radhakrishnan Stadium in Chennai on Sunday. Earlier, India had drawn 1-1 with Japan on Friday. The Indian team had started the tournament with an emphatic 7-2 win over China on Thursday. India is at the top spot with 2 wins and a draw in 3 matches and a total of 7 points. The Indian team will now face Korea in the next game.